back, humor consumers, to the Life Happens, Laugh Anyway podcast. I'm comedian Tracy DeGraaf.
And I'm Cathrine, co-host and bestie.
Welcome to the Pod Lab, Cathrine.
Thank you.
Yeah, here we are. It's Tuesday afternoon. It's sort of gloomy out.
Yeah, yesterday was like 54. Today is like 29, but it's windy, so it feels colder.
Yeah, and it's gray. I don't like
and
that.
It's gray.
Yeah. So spring, hurry up. I know the groundhog thing happened, the other day, and the groundhog supposedly said it's going to be 6 more weeks of winter.
Well, I always consider anything up until May is cold. Let's face it, even April can be windy and cold.
By the way, are you still the one person in America who has not seen Groundhog Day?
I have still not seen it. Yes.
Come on. Yesterday Ron saw that it was available, that you could watch it.
Yeah.
He goes, do you think there's really anybody that's not seen it? I said, Cathrine has not seen it.
No.
All right. Well, that's a diversion. All right, friends, if you're joining us for the first time, welcome to the Life Happens, Laugh Anyway podcast. This is episode number 209. And today, my friends, we are covering the topic of
Ozempic, or however they say that.
What
did they do?
Oh, boy.
Ozempic. I don't know.
It's called Ozempic.
What did I say?
Ozempic.
Whatever.
And they do that little tune that gets in your head that,
it didn't really get in mine.
Ozempic.
Oh, that's right.
They say, like several times.
Yeah.
And you don't know what they're owing about, but all you know is you go, ooh, it's the thing.
Yeah.
That's how I am with it.
Yeah, I guess I don't really see commercials.
No,
not really.
I don't know why, but especially drug commercials, I will hear the tune and see the commercial many times before I realize what they're even talking about.
Yeah, I can remember Emily when she was real little, doing one of them. I can't. And it had an O like that. That might be why I'm doing that.
Well, Ozempic has been around for quite a while. It's just sort of taken a little skyrocket
lately. Yeah, I saw that the FDA approved it in 2017.
Yeah, for weight loss, but it was approved for
diabetes.
For diabetes before that. All right. That's our topic of the day, friends, is Ozempic. We're going to be talking about it. Here are the takeaways. We're going to give you what's the skinny on the Ozempic thing. What is the skinny? We're going to share the pros and cons from our perspective. We're going to give you some alternatives, to Ozempic if you're not willing to do that. And, of course, we're going to share our thoughts because we have some of those. As always, we have a scripture to share with you and a call to action. Before we get into that, though, I have a little disclaimer.
Here it comes.
Guess what, friends? We ain't doctors.
We are not at all.
We ain't learned.
No. Well, not in that.
And so if you tuned in because you think you're going to have some sort of educated situation here, move along. Just move along. This is called the Laugh Anyway,
Yeah, we're just curating information. That's all.
Yeah. And I was the one that wanted to do this topic. I suggested it because it's such a hot topic in the news. Everybody, has been talking about it. A lot of people have been going on Ozempic. So we do have some things to say about it. Anyway, I just want to put that disclaimer out there that follow your doctor. Go to the actual doctor, Don't listen to somebody on the internet or a podcast.
Or us. Well, or just maybe, think common sense.
Yeah.
Too.
Yeah, right. Okay. And then before we dive into to all that I said we're going to cover, tell our listeners, Cathrine, about our sponsorship program, please.
Yeah, our sponsorship program, one can contribute $5 a month. That helps us with our, platform. It helps us try to
grow. We're trying to grow.
Right. Yeah. Take care of this podcast and move forward with it. So you can do that. You could go to tracydegraaf.com and just follow the prompts on there. And also, you can also just give one lump sum. But the $5 a month is really very helpful.
I think it's almost more helpful than the one lump sum in a way because it's recurring and I'm pretty sure they're not going to stop it. Unless if they all of a sudden go, where's that $5 going to? Oh, wait. I can't
be like
giving
that.
them the money.
Like back in the day, the CD and record club that you forget about and you keep getting all these CDs. It's kind of like that.
Right. But we appreciate each and every one of our sponsors.
Yeah. And the one lump sum. Or, yeah, absolutely.
Of course.
We do.
Of course.
Right.
Any of it. And we just started to receive a few of people that we don't know. And we talked about that a few episodes ago. We talked about Pat. So hi, Pat, if you're listening, we love you, appreciate you. And if you're somebody that you don't know us, like we wouldn't know you if we ran into you in the grocery store, would you sponsor us, please? Because we would be so thrilled to go, look, we have somebody from another country or another state.
Yeah, it is exciting.
It is, because I'll look at the analytics on Podbean, where our platform that we pay for to record, and I'll look and it'll say, oh, we've had 2 people from Japan. I'm thinking, who's over there in Japan listening to us?
Yeah.
Talk about Ozempic.
Yeah.
They don't need it over there. They don't. They got the fish.
Maybe it's a couple Americans over there.
Oh, true that. All right. So if you want to sponsor, as she said, go to my website. Just a little heads up on that. Last week, we recorded our episode on video, except that we did it. And one of our sponsors, our friend Gail, she said, well, where's the video? And I said, okay. I think I have to reply to her because I was trying to figure out how to make the video come out of my phone and get somewhere into the computer. And it has to be edited first. I don't know how to do that.
See, this is why we need money. Because we don't know how to do things.
Right. There's a little piece of it that has to be lopped off because it was me fussing with the camera thing and coming over here and all that. And so anyway, I passed it on to Olivia, who I do pay to do stuff for my comedy ministry. Now, Olivia, as we speak, she has the video from last time. I told her, lop it off until we start, and then put it on YouTube, and we're going to have a new YouTube channel. It's going to be our channel.
Okay.
And so once we get that together, we'll let you know.
Yeah.
And right now we're recording. We've got the iPad set up over there. We're pretty sure it's set up right, but might not be. We'll find out.
Well, I think it is.
Okay. All right.
Well, the sound might not be.
I don't know what's going on, but let's just dive in.
Let's go.
All right, Cathrine.
Oh.
Ozempic. What's the skinny? But what say you about Ozempic?
Yeah, well, it's a drug that was initially, and still is, it's for diabetes, type 2 diabetes. But the side effects are that one loses weight. So now, all these people have been trying to use it, and doctors had been prescribing it for weight loss. And I wrote down here, let's see.
So they call that... You didn't think you were going first?
I don't know why.
Oh, well, I almost always toss to you first.
I know, you do. You do.
Well, wait. Before you go into that, I just want to say this about Ozempic.
Yeah.
As Cathrine stated, it's a drug. It's been around for many years, okay? And as she said, it originally started out, they were using it to control blood sugar, diabetes, type 2 diabetes, and a side effect of the drug was weight loss.
Right.
Okay. So they're using it now off-label, or they started using it back then off-label for weight loss, meaning it initially is prescribed for diabetes. However, even if you don't have diabetes, you can use this drug for weight loss, which is like that off-label thing.
Oh,
sorry.
Okay. I didn't even know that, but I know that the ingredient in it, which is called semaglutide, that's the component that makes people lose weight. So they have used that in the other drug. Oh, I lost my place. They use that in the other drug that starts with a W. Wegovy.
Yeah.
Right. For weight loss. But I totally lost my spot. Hold on. Let me go back to history.
There are multiple drugs. They're all the same. They're all semaglutides. They're all GLP-1s. They mimic a hormone that happens naturally in our bodies. It's a satiety or satiety. I don't know how to say that word, but it makes you feel full.
Full, right. Not hungry.
Right. Like you don't even want anything else. You're satisfied.
Yeah.
Isn't that wonderful? Isn't that fantastic?
It's suspicious. That's what it is. Yeah. Like if anybody said that to me and I didn't know a single thing about, which I didn't, about this, I would be like, that's sus.
It
that's
is
sus.
Well, especially when it's weight loss, because weight loss, we've all heard the song and dance. Take this diet pill. Try this cabbage soup. Do this 3 times.
Eat a grapefruit every day. And that's all you eat.
All of that.
Everything. Yeah. So definitely, it's for diabetes. I'm plain and simple. Because the rest of the stuff that's in Ozempic is for diabetes.
Okay, but even if you back up diabetes, like my dad had that illness, as you know, and he passed away with complications of diabetes, and he had diabetes for 27 years. He was diagnosed at the age of 50, and he died at the age of 77. So for 27 years, he had chronic type 2 diabetes, which... I mean, he definitely, at the very beginning, I think I shared this with you earlier, but I'll share it, for the sake of people listening, because they may have diabetes or they may have family members who do. At the very beginning, my dad was very gung-ho, and he lost a lot of weight, and he ate very clean. Like, he was rigid and religious about it, and he was doing great. And then he just gradually moved back into old habits. And I get that. That has been my whole life, up, down, all of that. So it's difficult. And I was in the room when my dad's physician said, "You're never going to change. Guys like this never change."
That's encouraging.
I was so mad.
Yeah, right.
And I said, "What do you mean he's never going to change?" And my dad beat alcoholism. He changed.
Yeah.
He quit smoking. He changed.
Yep.
You don't think he can quit food?
Right.
Well, he was right. He didn't change. He didn't change
for
a good.
while.
He changed for a while. And that's the trick. And so my heart definitely goes out to people who have type 2 diabetes, obesity, and lifestyle-related illnesses, because some people may not know that type 2 diabetes and heart disease lock and step together.
Right.
Congestive heart failure, all kinds of things. So when you are a type 2 diabetic, because your dad was a type 2 diabetic too, wasn't he? And he had congestive heart, and he smoked for a while.
He had AFib.
Okay.
He didn't have the congested heart thing that we know of.
Okay. Well, when you have especially diabetes and heart disease, you've got multiple organs involved. So you have a kidney doctor.
Right.
And you have a heart doctor.
All right.
And, they have to monitor everything.
Yeah, the organs, they take a beating with that disease.
They do.
Sure.
The kidneys definitely take a
The
beating.
kidney doctor, which I can never remember what they call kidney doctors because it doesn't sound like, kidney doctor.
Right.
But anyway, she had said that my dad at the time, actually this was like a month before he passed away, that he was at level 2 in terms of functioning of the kidney. And I was like, oh my gosh, because she said 2 out of 4. She's like, oh, don't worry. She's like, millions of people live with just 2.
Wow.
The number 2. And I was like, gosh, that doesn't sound good.
Yeah. Well, they call a kidney doctor a nephrologist.
Yes, that's it.
Yeah. My dad used to call his kidney doctor the kidney man. Just instead of going to see the kidney man.
Yeah. Well, it's easier to say.
Okay. So all that to say that we have compassion for everybody that's tuning in today and for ourselves as well. Like, we get it that this is a big issue.
Yeah.
Okay. What else do you want to say about Ozempic?
Well, that's it in terms of what it is. And then, do we want to go over the pros and cons?
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah. Well, the pros are that, yes, it can help with heart disease because you're losing weight. So therefore, it can lower your blood pressure. And so therefore, healthier heart.
Right.
That's an advantage. Losing weight is an advantage if it's done, in a healthy way. I can't think of any other. Now, I'm not talking about the diabetes part. It's helpful for diabetes, but in terms of losing weight, I really don't have any other pros.
Well, and if you're morbidly obese and your doctor says to you, look, something needs to be done or you're going to die. Your organs are going to shut down, whatever. You do have to look at your options.
Yeah, I wouldn't look at this one, though. There are alternatives.
Well, I would go over all the options with my doctors, what I would do if I was in that position. I mean, definitely, I'm obese. Like, my doctor actually diagnosed me with obesity. Do you remember when that happened?
Yes.
Oh my gosh, I have to tell this story. I wasn't planning on it, but I'm going to tell it. This was many years ago. I go to this new doctor, right? And she's petite, let's just put it that way. And she's got little bitty baby hands and all that. And she's super thin, like a little toothpick. And at the end of it was just a general exam.
Yeah.
And at the end of the exam, she goes, "Is there anything else?" And I said, "Well, I've been wanting to lose some weight." And then she starts writing some stuff down.
Yeah.
And she said some mumbo jumbo about diet and exercise and fruits and vegetables, the usual stuff.
Yeah.
And I said, "Yeah, oh, okay." So then I think nothing of it. I go home. And pretty soon I get a phone call. It's my insurance company. They denied the claim. They denied paying the doctor visit because they don't cover obesity procedures.
Oh my God.
I said, "What?"
Wow.
I said, "You must have the wrong number. It can't be me."
What?
And then
Not me.
the insurance person had the little code, the little number, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And she goes, "No, that code means you were diagnosed with obesity."
Did they say it just like that? Like, not like with obesity? They didn't lower the voice?
They said it
or
like
just
that.
flat out like you have a pimple?
No, and I wanted to just hang up, but I said, "Oh, okay, goodbye."
Yeah, I know. Some descriptions that are, what they consider obese, I wouldn't have used that word. It's like, I would have said overweight, maybe.
Thick.
But, right. Or heavy set.
All
those polite words.
Right, husky.
Well, that's more for a guy.
Pleasantly plump.
Yeah, more...
Curvy.
Let's keep going.
Round.
They're more pleasant words than obese. Lard.
Sorry. Yes.
Blubber.
They're
terrible.
Okay. When I was little, my siblings used to call me Baby Huey. They did. They called me Baby Huey, which was like a fat cartoon duck.
Oh, I know.
Yeah. I'm just describing it for people who don't know. And my brother used to call me Thunder Thighs, just terrible.
Aww.
And not that long ago, it was maybe a year ago, I called my brother up on the phone to wish him a Happy New Year. Now, I'm in my late 50s. He's 60, right?
Right.
And I call him up on the phone to say Happy New Year, and he says, "You know what you should do?
Mm-hmm.
You should go on that Ozempic." I'm like,
Jeez.
What?
Feel the love.
And I went right back to Baby Huey, Thunder Thighs.
Right.
And he said, "Yeah, you should do that."
I think you've been chewing on this for a whole year, and that's why we're
Just
doing this
waiting,
episode.
Just waiting for the opportunity.
This is your comeback. We're covering this.
Right, we're talking about it.
Mm-hmm.
And well, it's funny, and also I get it. I've had tears over being made fun of. I have. I mean, it was, oh gosh, this is sad. It was the last Christmas that my mom was here on the earth. We didn't know that was going to be her last one. But my brother was making fun of my weight in front of other people, at Christmas. And it just hurt.
Oh my gosh. Was he really?
Yeah, you should. Danette was there, my sister-in-law. Mm-hmm. She still remembers it. And this was 30 years ago. Anyway, it hurt my feelings.
Oh, yeah.
And I was in the bathroom
you
crying.
Guys were adults.
I know. Anyway, some people never change.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
All that to say, we all have issues.
Yes.
We do.
Right. So we went over the pros. Let's go over the cons.
All right. What are the cons, Catherine?
It's not approved for weight loss. And your weight will plateau at some point.
Even with the Ozempic?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Right.
You know what? That's when the insurance company cuts you off.
Yes, that was my next thing. Once you stop it, you gain it back. And that's also when it's not covered by insurance. Bye-bye. You're not going to get it anymore because it's very expensive.
Holy moly.
And I didn't write this down, but some people have the side effects of very bad diarrhea and or constipation, vomiting. What else?
You don't want any of that stuff. And listen, the response that I had to my brother on the phone, going back to that.
I noticed you didn't answer my question.
I know, but I'm going to. I'm going to. Because I said, well, thanks for that input. I appreciate it. However, I said, I'm not going on that drug because A, I can't afford it. back then, this was like a year ago, people were paying like $1,200 per month to be on it. I said, I can't afford it, for one thing. And B, I'm not going to get on something that I'm going to have to be on for the rest of my life. So those two. And C, I fit in my car. So
I'm surprised you even answered him.
Well,
I'm surprised, you should have just said, did you say?
I think I said just like those reasons. I said I can't afford it, for one, and I'm not going to be on it for the rest of my life. And I said, I don't trust it, is what I really said. I don't trust it because I am not in a position where I'm morbidly obese. They didn't put that code down. They called me obese, but not morbidly. And I feel like I could lose the weight that I want to lose without it if I really knuckled down,
Yeah.
And I really wanted to. There's not a reason for me to do Ozempic.
There's not.
There's not.
Right.
And then now we talk about these cons, the cons to it. And you said, okay, anything that has to do with the digestion, no.
Right.
I don't want to be nauseous. I heard that that's a big side effect for a lot of people. Maybe not everybody, but how would you like to feel nauseous all day? I have been there. I've been pregnant for like 10 years. No. I don't want to be nauseous. And then I don't want my plumbing to be either backed up or full force.
No.
I don't want either one of those situations.
My gallbladder is out. So there's like issues with that. So I can't imagine like on top of that having this issue,
Okay,
on top of that.
Let's talk about let's talk about Jamie French for a minute. Let's tell our audience about Jamie.
Well, I barely know her. I just know the video you sent me this morning.
Yes.
I watched it real quick. I had no idea she's a comedian.
She's so
hilarious because I didn't just listen to it. I watched her too. And she had her journey with Ozempic. And so on this video, she talks about it. And she did have the side effects really bad.
Yeah.
And the way she describes it is easy to listen to. It's funny. She slips in little tiny clips, maybe even if it's just one word or two from movies like Bridesmaid.
Yes. She's a YouTuber.
Is she?
So if you just go to YouTube and put in Jamie, Jaime, French, like French, and you put in Ozempic horror stories, that's how I ended up finding that video. I do follow her. She does like movie reviews and she does makeup tutorials that she's done in the past. Anyway, I just find her so funny.
She is.
And she did this Ozempic. I'm going to try to retell the story just in a summary, but fill in if I forget something or screw something up. But I believe she was on it for like 17 weeks, which is a pretty long period of time. And she said that you go on it very gradually.
Yeah.
Now, she did say she went to her physician and the physician used a compounding pharmacy. So I don't know what all that is.
I read about that. It said compound pharmacies will give you the drug, whereas regular, I guess I didn't know there were compound pharmacies. I don't even know what that is. But they'll give you this drug, whereas others won't.
No, I think you can get it from a regular pharmacy too, but the compound pharmacy is some kind of a thing where I don't know.
I think they're more lenient.
They put it together maybe in the back room. I don't know.
Yeah, I do think they're more lenient.
But anyway, Jamie got the prescription from her doctor and was working with the compounding pharmacy and started out extremely low on the dose. And then you see how your body tolerates it and so forth. And she kept on increasing the dose and whatever. And she was trying to just tolerate the suffering because she wanted the result, which was the weight loss.
Yeah, and she also said that she's kind of used to suffering, so she didn't think that much of it. She even at some point went, gee, I didn't put the two and two together, like the lack of sleep. And because she had gallbladder issues, she dismissed some of it too. And on top of that, she was desperate or feeling desperate.
And the really bad news for her is she didn't lose any weight.
I know. And the other reason she kept going was because other patients, she would sometimes talk to them in the doctor's office, were having success.
Right.
So that's another reason why she kept, going forward with it.
And I put into the search of YouTube Ozempic horror stories because I wanted to see, she did not have this, or she didn't describe it anyway. but your whole like stomach can go into paralysis.
Wow. That's probably an extreme case.
Very extreme, but it can be lifelong then. Like you can have this problem for the rest of your life. And it's basically your stomach just quits working.
Wow.
And it's like just like dead.
Jeez.
And I don't know how then you move the stuff through to get it all, in then out.
Right. I don't know. But when my dad when he had diabetes, he wasn't on this.
No, my dad wasn't on it either. He was on
none of these, actually.
metformin or something like that.
Yeah.
Another thing in regards to some other people that I watched in terms of side effects and horror stories and such, the bathroom situation, like some of these were all women that I watched. They said that they were afraid to leave their house.
Yeah.
Because of,
That's what that Jamie said, too.
just terrible.
Pooping.
I've had a colonoscopy, and I know what that's like to be kind of tied to the bathroom for a day. I can't imagine being that way for the rest of your life. What kind of life do you have then? Come on.
Cheech and Chunk, stay together.
Cheech and Chunk. And then I don't know what it does to, like, I think that even if you started to recover from that and get a little bit better, I would imagine you'd have PTSD. Like
for sure. Yeah,
I'd be afraid to eat anything. Terrible.
Yeah.
It's terrible.
Yeah.
Okay. Any other pros and cons that you can think of?
No, I just see the word. I'm going to click on this. Compounding
pharmacy. Okay, I'm going to talk about one of the pros that I think would be a pro of dropping the weight is the mental excitement of finally losing weight. I think that would be a pro. Okay. I do. Having struggled with weight for my whole adult life anyway. Yeah. Because I started to think back like, okay, they called me Baby Huey. I'm back to that again. But in high school, I lost weight. But then in college, I gained weight. And then I went on a mission trip to Haiti and I lost weight because I got sick. I lost weight. Then I came back and gained weight. And then I had kids and I lost weight and gained weight and lost weight and gained weight. So it was just like back and forth for decades. But I think that if a shot could... They do claim that it quiets the food noise. Yeah, they call it.
Yeah, you don't even think about it.
Okay, that would be a beautiful. It would be so beautiful to not think about food. Do you know what happens to me when we go to a restaurant and we order our food?
What?
I barely hear any conversation. We could be talking, and I'm just thinking, when are they coming with the food?
Do you know when I was researching for the podcast? Yeah. I sat down within 5 minutes. I was like, I'm hungry. Where's that roast beef we had? Oh, do we have buns in the cabinet?
Oh, yeah.
Do we have cheese? Oh, we don't have mayonnaise. Like that literally was going through my mind while I was trying to do this.
It's a big issue for all of us. Yeah. And we have an abundance of food and we have it very conveniently. We do. We have fast food. And junk food. And we talked about this before many, many episodes ago. I think we talked about that bliss point.
Yes. Yeah.
Where manufacturers of food, they look for that perfect bliss point of whatever. I think it was a sugar thing. Like sweeten it just enough so that it gets you to that perfect point.
It's the sweetness, but they also have it in the salt stuff too. Like they know exactly where that, like you said, bliss point is to keep you addicted, to keep you wanting to eat it and buy it again.
It's like that popcorn that they call Chicago style popcorn where they put the cheese popcorn in and the caramel, sweet and salty.
That is bliss.
Come on now.
To me, that's bliss.
Stop. Now my taste buds are going.
I know.
All right. So
real quick.
Yeah, go ahead.
Compounded pharmacies, they are pharmacies that are not FDA approved.
Okay.
Like they have drugs where patients cannot be treated with an FDA approved medication.
And
I thought maybe something.
I wonder if then you can't run that through your insurance, I would imagine.
Oh, I doubt it. Okay. I mean, I don't know.
So there's like the big expense part of Ozempic too. Who's got $1,200 a month that they can plop down there?
Yeah.
For the rest of your life?
Right.
Well, celebrities do.
That's right. I read somewhere that some of these drugs, they can take out some of that semaglutide, whatever it is, and adjust it so that it's a little bit less in cost. I don't even know, but they're messing with the stuff is what they're doing.
Yeah.
To make it cheaper. I don't know, something like that.
And I think that that's possibly why it's become so popular in the mainstream is because of all the celebrities that went on it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and none of them really want to admit it. Did you know that there's a South Park episode about Ozempic?
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Is there really?
There is.
Oh, my gosh.
You know, South Park is pretty cultural, and they have their thumbprint, you know, kind of on the heartbeat of whatever culture's doing.
Whatever's going on.
Yeah, I
Current
heard
events.
that some of these celebrities were having like Ozempic parties. So you would go to the party and everybody would like wear midriff and get their shot. You know?
Well, I think that even if it weren't celebrities, I mean, when there's buzz that there's a great way or a fast way to lose weight and it works, that's going to spread like wildfire.
Yeah. The problem is with obesity, and like you're treating a symptom, right? You're treating the symptom of obesity. You know, if you can get to the root of it, which is, you know, the poor choices and all of that.
The psyche.
Right. It's so hard. Because I don't want to say anything that is offensive to myself or to anybody else. Because I have freely admitted that I'm sadly, whatever, fat. I'm fat.
I mean, I'm not, you know.
Oh, shut up.
Then. No, I'm not.
Nobody cares.
Yeah.
Nobody cares. But talking about those celebrities and all of that, I mean, I think when they have the resources, right? They have the money, they have the people. Like, remember when Oprah lost all that weight and she came out on the TV and she was carting along the fat?
No, I don't recall that.
If some people, I think this was back in the 80s or 90s, it might have been the 90s. She wheeled out on stage a wagon filled with fat of the amount of fat that she lost.
Wow.
And it was a lot. And, you know, she has, again, lost weight.
Has
and
she recently?
There's rumored, you know, that it's Ozempic is the reason that she lost weight. Rosie O'Donnell lost weight. And
I did see that.
She admits that it's whatever, one of these drugs. I don't know if it's Ozempic or Wegovy or whichever one. But there was a shortage of this drug.
Yeah, that's another thing. That's another con.
Yeah, there was a shortage of it.
For the people who really need it.
Right, and people couldn't get it.
Yeah.
And she couldn't get it. And she was like, hey, this is my ticket. For the first time in my whole life, she feels like she has some victory over it. And I do feel compassion for people, you know, in that position.
You know who else looks really thin, now that I'm thinking about it, is Kathleen Bates or Kathy Bates.
Oh, yeah, she does.
She's really thin.
Yeah. I don't know if she's on it, but then...
I don't either.
Okay, so there's another point, Catherine. If you lose weight, automatically people are like, it's Ozempic.
Well, especially that seems so sudden.
Oh, and if you're rich.
Well, yeah, that too.
Because I'm not selling my house so I could be skinny. Ron, let's go live in a tent.
Oh,
I got to lose this weight.
Yeah.
All right. Pros and cons. Anything else that you wanted to say about that?
No. Yep.
One thing I want to say that I don't really have a spot for it, but they've made some changes in other weight loss programs, and they're including this element, the semaglutide, however you say it. So like Weight Watchers, it used to be Weight Watchers was just sensible eating and movement and accountability, right? Because I've been to Weight Watchers multiple times. You go to the meeting and you stand on the scale, and there's a woman there who looks at the number and she writes it down. And then in the meeting, if you've lost weight, you get recognized.
Yes. Right.
And if you didn't, you sit there and you don't get recognized.
Shame.
Well, now they offer, Weight Watchers with the semaglutide, however you say that. Same thing with Noom, which is kind of like Weight Watchers, but it's online and it's on an app and all that. So they're all getting on board. And I guess they have to, because if they don't, they're going to get left behind.
Yeah, I figured that's why they're doing that. I know I read this doctor, I don't know where I have it now, but she's a doctor out of one of these universities, I think in California, and she is a specialist in weight loss, obesity. And she did say that she can prescribe and mix it up like that ingredient with other things, but of course always says the first route before any drug is trying, lifestyle change, diet and exercise.
Yeah.
And some people need counseling and things, but I mean, she didn't say that, I don't think.
But we know that's true.
But exactly, because you have to get to the root of why are we overeating? What are we substituting? Things like that.
Oh,
Because if
for
you
sure.
could get to the bottom of that, then it could be maybe perhaps easier to recognize and then control and all of that stuff.
Did you find in your research this thing called Ozempic?
I don't think I did.
So it's basically...
Maybe I heard it from you.
It's basically making like a slurry of... It's like a smoothie made with oats and water.
Okay.
Just like you would make oatmeal, but cold. It sounds disgusting.
Yeah.
So it's oats and water and like lemon or lime juice.
Ugh.
And you just drink it.
Okay.
I think
thanks.
just because it kind of goes with Ozempic, Ozempic.
Get it. All right.
And guess what? If you eat oatmeal, it's a fairly healthy choice, and it does keep you full-ish,
Right.
So anyway, just all kinds of things. One thing I wanted to talk about before we move on to our final thoughts on this topic, I wanted to talk about this study that I read.
Okay.
And the study came from the National Library of Medicine.
Okay.
And this was an article that was kind of like a summary of all these other articles that had studies attached to them. And the name of it was Efficacy of GLP-1, which is that semaglutide, however you say it, RA approved for weight management in patients with or without diabetes. And it was a narrative review.
Yeah.
Okay. Here's the problem. There are no long-term studies. There are none because we're not in it enough.
Right.
Like, I feel like all the people that are on it right now are the study.
They are the guinea pigs,
They
the pioneers.
Are. Yeah. Because 10, 20, 30 years down the road, are their organs going to be whatever? And because with Ozempic, it's basically like calorie restriction. It's like a starvation diet.
Yeah.
It is because what happens is you do not want to eat. You don't think about food. You don't want to eat. And your body is not craving food. It's quieting that voice.
Yeah.
Right? So you end up not eating very many calories. Well, then you lose, but what you lose is muscle. The majority of the weight that is lost on this type of a scenario is not fat. It's muscle.
Oh, so that's not good.
It's not only is it not good, it can be detrimental, especially as we get older, because we need muscle to be able to do what's that thing called? Your...
Sorry. No clue.
Wait. It's like that enzyme. What is it? Your metabolism.
Oh, okay.
Gosh, enzyme. Your metabolism needs to function. And when you have all fat and no muscle, there's no metabolism really functioning. Right. You need muscle. You need strength.
Absolutely.
We're in strength training classes that we go to. Now, Cathrine and I are both in our 50s. I'm 59. Catherine's 55, right? 55. And we go to our friend Lindy Flanagan. She's so cute, that Lindy. She's 20 years younger than me. Anyway, she's a professional trainer. She's a certified trainer, and she's a health coach and all of that. And she forces us to move. I'm not going to do it if I don't have somebody there saying, and I got to pay her to make me move.
Right.
But I do it.
Well, because we want to stay strong. I mean, muscles and older age, it's so important. If we're at a greater fall risk, you need muscles for everything, because that helps. Your muscles will help eat the fat, and what feeds muscles? Protein.
Yeah.
And exercise.
The other thing that muscles do is they offload pain. I learned this the hard way because I had a problem with my hip, and I also injured my shoulder. 2 different incidents, but I went to physical therapy, and I had to do strengthening and stretching exercises in order to offload the pain, and it works.
Yeah, I forgot about that too.
If you suffer from back pain or joint pain, work with first of all, go to your doctor, get the MRI, figure out what's going on, whatever, then get a script for PT, and then get the exercises. I know it's a long journey, but this is exactly what I did.
Yeah.
And I started working with Lindy after my insurance said, no more PT for you, because I was done with it. They said, you're cured, but my arm would only go up halfway after I tore my rotator cuff. Yeah. And the insurance was like, well, so guess you're You're going to praise the Lord like this now, girl. I was like, but I want to praise the Lord all the way.
Yeah.
And I had to do it. It was an investment of my health.
Right.
And we're not used to that.
Right.
We're not used to paying money, for ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
But if your car was broken down, you would invest in making it better.
So
if your
true.
house was falling apart, you would invest in making, what do we have if we don't have our health? What do we have?
Yeah, well, you have the Holy Spirit.
Well,
you're saved. I mean, you have to have your health. Exactly.
You do. It's a pretty big priority.
Yeah.
So anyway, all that to say, sorry, I went off on a rant. So sorry. Back to this article, okay?
Preach it, girl.
This article is like a summary of a bunch of other articles because there aren't that many studies out there, so they have to just look at the few that there have been and give like a review of it, all right? Now, this is what the article said. Quote, lifestyle intervention alone is generally associated with moderate weight loss of around 5 to 7%.
Mm-hmm.
So in the study, they're finding that just moderating your lifestyle isn't enough. It's 5 to 7%. That is gradually regained and yields a great proportion of poor responders.
I wonder if, though, for people who have a good metabolism, people like Lindy and so forth, if moderation is sufficient, for people
well, they're
like
not
that.
the people that have been in the study because these are people these are people that are either with or without diabetes, okay?
Yeah.
And what they found is that just moderating their lifestyle isn't enough.
Okay. Are they overweight people?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Oh, I see.
Okay. And then the second option for them was bariatric surgery. And it says bariatric surgery is the most effective anti-obesity management strategy characterized by average of 30 to 40% weight loss. That's huge.
Yeah, that is. That's a lot.
And, if somebody is struggling with that level of obesity, that bariatric surgery is, I don't know what you have to be at to be a candidate for that.
Mm-hmm.
But, I've seen some of the shows on TV and such, and I mean, it's just heartbreaking.
Yeah.
Okay. However, it comes at a cost of irreversibility. So you're not going back once you have bariatric surgery. And it also has surgery-related complications and considerable percentage of late complications. Until recently, the treatment gap existed in the therapeutic strategy to achieve 10 to 15% of weight loss, which leads to significant health benefits. So basically what they're saying is you've got these two options. Before the GLP-1s came in, the semaglutide, however you say it, you only had either moderate your lifestyle or have bariatric surgery. Well, guess what? Now you also have Ozempic or Wegovy or whatever that can help you, okay?
Yeah.
So I got to say this, like now they're doing studies, they're working on adding a pill. So they're making it from injection to a pill.
Yeah.
That's coming. And I do hope that they work this out so that there is some better treatment down the road.
Yeah, I heard that they're, besides just Ozempic and whatever, the one with the W with the semaglutide in there, there's other drugs that they're taking, like the drugs for people to combat alcoholism and opioids, whatever the component is in there, they're using that for weight loss. I suspect that it kind of takes away certain cravings,
right?
Like craving alcohol, craving drugs, so perhaps craving food is one of them. I don't know. But anyway, they're deriving, these kinds of things out of other drugs, but they're not FDA. I don't think they're FDA approved yet. I don't know.
It's scary to me to leave the drug companies in charge, right? Because now they want to approve stuff for kids. For obese kids. Imagine if you get a kid who's 12, 13, 14 years old and you get them on something they got to be on the rest of their life. That's like a cash cow for the pharmaceutical companies. But what's it going to do to the kid?
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yes.
Anything else you want to say about it?
No, but I will say this about, because we were going to talk about, alternatives for weight loss, which we kind of are. But I found a website, the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, and it's aimed for a healthy weight. And what's really nice about it is you could just get right on there, and under every category, dairy products, cereals, grains, and pastas, meat, fish, and poultry, baked goods, there's alternatives for every category. So you look at croissants and like a brioche, and the lower fat alternative is hard French rolls or soft brown and serve.
Love it.
So yeah, so it's a nice suitable substitute that has the lower fat alternative. Everything from, like I like the baked good ones because that one's the most interesting. Okay, for donuts, sweet rolls, muffins, scones, and pastries, you can do English muffins, bagels, which I was surprised, reduced fat or fat-free muffins or scones. Choose the lowest calorie ones, of course. But anyway, so it's a nice, just like you could put it on the inside of your cabinet door, print it out, put it on the inside of your cabinet door or something, and have it.
And I think it's far better to just make a small change that you can live with than to do something drastic that you're only going to do for a certain period of time.
Exactly right. Yeah. If it's temporary, it's not.
Yeah.
It's not a lifestyle.
Drink a lot of water too, friends, because that's so important.
By the way, I'm going to take another sip.
Yeah. By the way, we went to breakfast this morning with our friend Andrea, and she ordered an omelet with, instead of potatoes, like the delicious hash brown potatoes that they serve with it, she got tomatoes.
Yeah.
I was like, what a good idea.
It reminded me of what I used to do all the time. Like if at breakfast, a lot of times I would make stewed tomatoes and with an egg, like it's very English, baked beans and put that over toast. And there's the toast.
Back up, layer it for me. So you got a piece of toast, then what?
A piece of toast. And on one slab of toast, I'll put the stewed tomatoes and the egg on top. And then on the other piece of toast, and you could get healthy bread, healthy toast. I'll put the baked beans on top and then the egg on top of that.
Oh, yum.
It's delicious. And then if the beans and the tomatoes, if they mix, I don't care. I love it. But yeah, just stewed tomatoes or, diced tomatoes in a can and add garlic, add whatever you like. And
but do you heat all that up, obviously?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. That sounds good.
Yeah.
You make that for me. I've been your friend for a long time. You never made that for me.
Really?
No.
I swear I have.
I swear you haven't. I want you to make it for me.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. Eggs are very expensive now, though.
Oh, my goodness. I know.
The goose that laid the golden egg.
Oh, my word.
All right. Anything else about Ozempic?
No.
Okay. Let's go to our scripture.
Okay.
1 Corinthians chapter 6, verses 19 and 20 says this: Do you not know that your bodies are temples of the Holy Spirit who is in you, whom you have received from God? You are not your own. You were bought at a price. Therefore, honor God with your bodies. It's very important. Take care of
your bodies.
Yeah, we do. We need to, because they need to hang in there with us for the long haul. Call to action: make a plan for you and stick to the plan. Don't give up, and do it with a friend. I think grab a fat friend, would you? Just grab a fat friend and say, let's do this.
Is that why you grabbed me?
No. Well, you got fatter after I started.
Whoa. I did. Another menopause.
Well, it's a good thing that we laugh about it.
God.
Grab a friend, do it together, make healthy choices, make it fun, and laugh as you go. That's our call to action.
I cannot believe you said that.
Well, truth hurts.
Wow.
Sorry.
All right.
You've been listening to the Life Happens Laugh Anyway podcast. I'm still comedian Tracy DeGraaf.
I'm still Cathrine.
We'll see you next time.
Bye-bye.